everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy May the 14th. Like I said on a Facebook Live I just did with Dr. Blair Wolfert, who is a Michigan chiropractor and a boot camper. I can hardly believe we're already cranking halfway through May, and here we are, another day. So as always, I'm going to ask that you tell me hello. Let me know who is with us today and where you're calling in from. I also would love to know, what are you struggling with right now when it comes to your messaging? And how can I best help you? I'd also like to thank Dr. Heather Friedland, who is joining me from Illinois. Dr. Heather has an amazing practice in Illinois, and I have asked her to join me because she is a wealth of knowledge, and I just really dig her. So Heather, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I also, just a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, remember to turn on your notifications on Facebook for me. If you're not seeing our stuff, we are pumping out content like there's no tomorrow. And I promise it's content that you can use, especially because a lot of it is stuff that you can use for your own post on social media, so you don't have to make them up. Or it's even, stuff that you can put in emails or do your Facebook Lives on. So I'm doing everything that I can for all of you to make your lives easier. I understand that a lot of you, like Heather, became homeschoolers overnight on top of, still running your practice and figuring out COVID and all of that. And so my team and I have really just gone into super overdrive since COVID hit to make your lives easier. So please make sure you turn on your notifications. Also, I just want to invite all of you. So next week, our topic is the low overhead practice on Thursday. And then on May 28th, it's the 5 simple steps to feel organized and efficient. Then starting in June, this will no longer be a free service. So I had planned in April that this wasn't going to be a free service. And then because of COVID, I was like, yep, I just want to keep giving, and I want to keep giving to each one of you. And I'll be doing so through the United We Win webinar club, just like this. Here's the deal. The first 30 that register, it's $56 a month. You get all of this content every single week. Plus the first 30, you get an initial call with me to go over, like, what is the greatest challenge that you're having right now in your practice? I want to help you solve that. So the cool thing is that the first 30, there'll be 30 days. So June 1st to the beginning of July. And each day I'm going to solve another challenge. So you'll not only get your challenge solved, but you'll get to hear me solve the challenge of 29 other chiropractors. So the initial call with me will outline what is the biggest challenge and how can I best help you. Then also a detailed trail map so that every single day you're moving forward. There'll be a live group coaching call just for those 30. We'll also, I'm going to teach you how to be the trusted authority for business to business. I think that is so critical that you really hone in on the strategic partners. And then obviously you get these recorded, you get these live calls and then the recording. So it's $56 a month. Whether you're in the boot camp or you're not, it's a way for me to continue to help our profession. Hey, Kim from New York, good to see you. So I will make sure that the link gets put in the comment section as well. For those of you who are on today, you're going to get my pages of notes only for those who are on today. So congratulations for taking action. And then shoot me an email to get those notes, though, please. I'm not just going to send them out. So you have to shoot me an email at drbarbaraeaton.com, and I'll make sure you get those by tomorrow morning. So 3 killer ways to ensure your message sinks in. It's imperative to grab your audience's attention so that they can get the help from you that they desperately need. So I'm going to ask you, Dr. Heather, what do you and your team do so well that despite COVID, your business at the most has only dropped 10% throughout this whole time, and that you've been able to continue being the place for families in your community to stay well?
I think the biggest part of that was relationship with our patients going in. So we had that trusted relationship with them and with their families headed into this thing. And I think second to that is procedure, but I personally think those two things go together. We run great procedure to build great relationship. So we've always tried to run procedure that'll handle twice the volume we're doing right now. So we had some wiggle room there in our, even though we had to revamp huge parts of our procedure, there was room to do that. And then third, you said one, but I think they all go together. Communication, like just massive communication. And even when I thought we were communicating to the point of
Speaking of communication, I think there's been a glitch in communication from Dr. Heather. So when she jumps back in,
we've been open.
Oh, you're stuck. Okay, she'll be right back. And it's interesting. Dr. Heather and I did not even like really communicate those 3 points, and those are like such 3 critical points. Trusted relationship. I want to build on this and remind all of you, if you look at the relationships, your personal relationships outside of your practice, how do those happen? And who are the friends that you have? Well, they're people that you trust. And I think the biggest thing about trust is, does that person seek to understand who I am? Does that person seek to understand who I am? And really, we marry the person who we think gets us, because that is so important in relationship. And that's why you must seek to understand first. So I want to jump in today, and we are going to be going through those 3 things really that Heather just broadcasted. Trusted relationship, procedures. Remember that in order for a system to be successful, it must be measurable, reproducible, innovative, and we must eliminate discretion. Like that's just the way that it works. And I'm noticing my son-in-law is pulling in right now, and there's been no conversation about this. So I guess he's going to figure that one out. So here are the 3 killer ways to make sure that your message sinks in. And I want to read something to you first that I think just perfectly sets all of this up. And it's from my friend and superstar marketer, Joe Polish. When you see brilliant creatives go down a destructive path, they are living in the problem. They aren't living in the solution. We spend so much time living in the problem when things don't go the way that we think that they should. A different, more useful framing would be, here's what's wrong and here's the solution because of it. If all we did was this, it would massively accelerate our productivity. Are you guys listening to me here? How do you accelerate productivity? Is you focus on the solution. Focus on the solution, not the problem. We would find the creative breakthrough or determine the best course of action, all while not tolerating the situation. Whenever we complain about something or a person, our mind thinks it is doing something about it. When we complain and worry, we falsely think that we're working on it, and we're not. However, the truth is that we're simply postponing or delaying the inevitable and elongating the misery. There are always going to be a lot of problems in business, and it has the potential to consistently put you in an annoying frame of reference. It's the life of the entrepreneur. Like if somebody told you this journey was going to be easy, I'm sorry, you've been lied to. Every day you must get up and determine that your purpose is greater than any problem you're going to face. Every day you must get up and determine, no matter what happens today, I know I can make it through. And I may not have the answer. Listen, I don't know is not an excuse to retreat. I don't know simply means you must go to your trusted resources to find the answer, because the answer exists. I don't care what problem you're facing, an answer exists. And sometimes we plow through it and sometimes we go up and over it. And that's also why it's so important to have a tribe. I don't have all the answers, but there are over 400 in the tribe that I can reach out to with the answers. That's also why I have built the tribe, that you're not just hearing from me. I'm not an expert in everything, but I want to make sure that those in my tribe get expert advice so that you're doing the best things, not everything. There are fantasies of entrepreneurship portrayed through tightly edited videos and pictures, but statistically speaking, 9 out of 10 startups fail, and around half of all businesses no longer exist after 5 years. So if you've been in practice longer than 5 years, congratulations to you. You've beaten the odds of on top of this, 70 to 80% of businesses that go to market for sale end up not being sold. So if your exit strategy is to sell your practice, I recommend having a dual exit strategy, because just selling it may not be giving you what you're looking for. The dark side of success is that most days as a business owner, it can suck. Like, no joke, it can really be difficult. If you condition yourself to be problem focused instead of solution focused, it's going to be a rough ride, because there are always problems. Problems don't go away until we have a solution. Problems don't go away till we have a solution. So if we focus on the solution first, how quickly then will the problem vanish? Start living in solution. The next time a problem comes up in your business, do a 2-minute wallow. Just lean in, like, have a temper tantrum, and then get to work. Then ask, what's the solution? And you have to find one and come up with the solution. If that solution doesn't work, then you come up with another one. Like, it's not about just finding the right answer. It's what one will work right now. If you start living in the solution, it can double your productivity. Here's how. Every time you walk away from a problematic situation or person, you end up with a pearl. Like, think about an oyster. It produces a pearl because of irritation. It produces a pearl because of irritation. So instead of, it's like one of the sayings in the boot camp, and I have to give credit to Grant Cardone for it. I never lose. I either win or I learn. Like, this is going to teach me something. And I hope you all saw a Facebook post that I made. I think it was yesterday. What have you learned? Like, what have been the blessings of COVID? Because I think there have been so many blessings. I'd love to know yours. Pop onto my Facebook page and put yours down. Like, it's amazing when we're instead looking for blessings, what we're going to find in our lives. So here are the 3 ways to cut through the noise to make sure your message sinks in, to make sure that that irritation that your practice members are experiencing, right? Because we want our messaging to sink in, because we want to help people. Always be focused on what's out there. I want to help them. Right? I mean, that's why we're chiropractors, because we want to help people. So number 1 is articulate their strong need. Articulate their strong need. You must position your message in your audience's words, not yours. So here are some tips in order to figure that out. Worry, and I encourage all of you about this. Worry less about what other chiropractors are going to say about your marketing, and focus 100% on what your ideal client is going to say, and then do that. I think sometimes I look at marketing that chiropractors are using, and I'm like, you're writing that so that your colleagues are like, wow, like, you're so bad A because you don't ever talk about symptoms. Are you building your marketing to attract chiropractors into your practice? Because if not, I recommend that you focus on what your ideal practice member is saying. So number 1, think about it this way. In the very moment that your new practice member, your potential new practice member, would click on your website or would call your practice, what are they feeling in that moment? That time that they would take action, what are they feeling in that moment? What are they saying to themselves? Guess what? They're symptomatic. They're not calling your office if they're not symptomatic. They're not searching for a chiropractor because, oh my gosh, I just feel so good. I think I'm going to get adjusted. They'll get there because of the trusted relationship, because of the procedures, and because of your consistency of messaging. But they're not going to start there. I don't care what guru is saying that from the stage. They don't even believe it when it's coming out of their mouth, but it makes you feel good that they're saying it. and they're saying it to hook you in. That's the truth. Here, how are their symptoms interfering with the quality of their life? How are the symptoms that your practice member, when they go to click on schedule my first visit or they call your office, how are their symptoms interfering with the quality of their life? Are they worried about losing their job? Are they concerned they have a tumor? That's real. If somebody's been having headaches for a long period of time, I promise you, if they're not telling you, they're worried they have a tumor. They're worried that something serious is wrong. They're worried, oh my gosh, do I have a brain tumor? Is something like seriously wrong with me? Are they thinking, I'm never going to get better? Like, I'm going to be stuck like this. Are they concerned? Like, maybe it is just in my head. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe something is wrong with me and no one's going to be able to help me. You got to get in the mind of your audience and speak their language. And they're not thinking wellness at the point in which they're making an appointment. The wellness conversation happens as you build a relationship. So I also want to tell you all something. I'm the queen of winging it. I am. And a strength overused becomes a weakness. Write that down. A strength overused becomes a weakness. So I have rested on, I can wing it. I can always mess it up. Like, I know my content. And you know what I have figured out? That's not showing up as the best version of myself. So stepping into doing these webinars every single week has forced me to be a better communicator, has forced me every single week. I have been creating notes, which I never do. Like, I can do 10 hours of content and never create a note. And I decided my strengths of being able to wing it, overused, becomes my weakness. So I've stepped up my game, and I'm asking each one of you to step up your game. I'm delivering better content because I'm preparing and I'm not winging it. It's succinct. It's easier to follow because I know I can get off on a tangent, just being honest and just being vulnerable. And my team, you know, this is another reason to surround yourself with people who tell you the truth. My team, specifically Myra, she's like, it's confusing when you get off on your tangents. It's better if you follow a structure. So instead of being like, well, you don't know anything, I'm like, she's only going to give me that feedback because she cares about me. So I'm taking her words to heart. And I encourage all of you, surround yourself with people who are going to tell you the truth because they see brilliance in you and they know you can do better. So thank you, Myra. All right. So the first thing, articulate their strong need. And you know what? That's why it's so important in your consultation to ask, what is your specific health challenge and how can I best help you? And to make sure that you dig in deeper of when your pain is at its worst, describe your day to me from the time you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night, because it's the who that's having the problem. It's not the what, it's who they are because of their problem. And so I invite you to really dig deep into that. And no, we're not pain doctors. We're doctors who help individuals express maximum expression, right? And if they're in pain, they are not at their ideal potential. I mean, think about yourself. Are you the best version of yourself when you're symptomatic? I'm not. I know I'm not. And for those of you who know me well, you know that I had a wicked disc injury last summer. I was not the best version of myself. God bless my husband for his patience because it was not fun to be around me. All right, number 2, tell a relevant story that clearly spells out the solution. So number 1, articulate their strong need. Number 2, tell a relevant story that clearly spells out the solution. Don't make your people have to figure out what's to come. Think about this COVID thing. How much stress have you endured because you don't know what's to come? Because you feel like you're left in the dark to figure things out on your own. Your audience feels the same way if you're not spelling it out for them. They will follow the leader who makes the path crystal clear. They'll follow whoever makes it crystal clear. And, you know, sometimes we sit back and go like, oh, I don't get why people take pills. It's really clear. If you have this symptom, you take this pill, it goes away. They make it very clear what to do. And we're like, I saw actually an ad today from a boot camper, and I'm going to have to reach out to her. I'm like, it's so unclear. I know that you think it's really clear. It's completely not clear. And the things that you're saying are benefits of why someone would choose your office, that's not what they're looking for in the moment of crisis. They don't care about how innovative your technology is. If I'm in pain, I want to know you can help me. I want to know you care about me. I want to know other people that you have helped. Tell me about those people. Because remember, when we share stories of others, it inspires us that says, oh my gosh, if that person can get help, I can get help too. And this is specifically what you do. Here's what you do. Call my office right now. We are going to answer the phone in a friendly way. We're going to tell you, fill out this paperwork. You're going to go to a green button on my website. All of the paperwork is right there. You will submit your paperwork to me. And here's why. I pride myself on being very thorough and comprehensive. I want to get to the root cause of your problems. I don't want to be the next healthcare provider who just masks over your symptoms. I want to be the one that goes deep with you and let's get this solved. How we're going to get that solved is I'm going to know about your health history. Then we'll do a comprehensive chiropractic exam, which includes a neurological testing. It includes orthopedic testing. I'm going to find out how well does your spine move? What's the balance between left and right side of your muscles? Because balance is a part of you being healthy. I want to know, can your brain communicate to all your cells and tissues? Because if it can't, you will not be well. And I got to know the severity and complexity of that problem in order to give you a customized map. So your first visit is all about fact finding. I'm going to dig deep to find out those things that no one else has been able to find out, which is why you're in the health that you are, because they haven't found the root cause of your problem. That's what I'm specifically trained to do, is to find the root cause of your problem. Then on that next visit, when you come back to me, I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with you and show you. Like, I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'm going to show you so that you know, because the more you know, you're in the driver's seat and you're not dependent on me to tell you. You're going to know. And then I'll give you that specific map just for you. After that, you can decide if you want to be well or if you want to stay exactly where you're at. The choice will be yours. But at least wise, you'll know the facts. Is it clear? Exactly what they're supposed to do? Like, I'm not leaving them to figure it out on their own. Now, we follow people that we trust. We follow people that have provided us with a clear path. If you're not getting people to follow you, please understand they're confused, or you haven't spoken in a language that they can understand. Remember, when you communicate, you must paint the picture. So you want to tell the story in such a way that they can see what you're saying, that you could see yourself walking into my office, that you could see yourself filling out that paperwork, that you could see that the next day I'm going to make sure we're going knee to knee. We're figuring this out. I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong. If they can't see what you're saying, they're confused. And then when you are pulling out information from others, you have to be able to ask the questions to see what they're thinking, right? Like, don't make it up in your mind. Ask the questions so that you fill in all of the colors and all of the pieces of their story. How do we do this? Listen and understand. Strive to understand more than you want to be understood. If you get nothing else out of this call, get that. Be interested more than you're interesting. Strive to understand more than you seek to be understood. Yeah, but people have to know the value of chiropractic. No, they don't. Not at the beginning. You have to know them. And then you take what they're saying and match it up with chiropractic. That's your job. They're not coming to your office to, here, tell me everything you know about chiropractic. That is not why they pushed on schedule a first visit in your office. So Heather, you're shaking your head quite a bit. Tell me like what your thoughts are.
Oh, I completely agree. I think sometimes I drive young chiropractors crazy because I'm like, please stop telling the story of chiropractic when you first meet someone. You know, I give the example of, sitting at my kid's ball game and somebody says, oh, you're a chiropractor? Can you help with headaches? Right? And I think as a young chiropractor, I would have said, oh, yeah, I can help with headaches, the nerve cell to the tissue cell. And I would have told that whole big story. Right. And they would have went, oh, and I would have walked out and I wouldn't have helped them. Right. And then I would have felt good, I guess, maybe. And now I would do that completely different, where I would say, who do you know who has headaches? Right. I do. Okay. Tell me your story and let them talk. Right. And then I simply, in those moments, I usually say, I have no idea if I can help you. I have helped a ton of people with headaches, but you are completely different than them. The only way I would know is for you to schedule an appointment. This is what we're going to do. And then exactly what you just said, right? Sometimes that's a shortened version. And I usually say, you want to come tomorrow? I drive my staff crazy, right? Because then I'm like, okay, I'm coming at 10 tomorrow. I have no idea if I have an opening at 10 tomorrow. But I get their information and get them in this schedule. And I think we so badly want to tell them what we do. And like you said, we've had it drilled in that we have to teach them what chiropractic is. And we do. That's the long term of that. But in my mind, that's not day one, right? Day one is exactly what you just said. Why are you here? What made you call my office today? What do you want to be able to do that you're not able to do? To ask them those questions, because at that moment, they don't care what chiropractic is, but they don't care. So
and it's not their fault that they don't care. And it's not that they won't care. It's right now, can you help me? And no one says, oh, can you help this thing because they want to hear the chiropractic story?
Right.
Never.
Yeah. Never.
They ask that because they want to know, can you help me?
Right.
Can you help me? And, I love to, and all of you remember, it's sell the checkup, not care. You got to sell the checkup, and marketing is about them taking the next step. The next step isn't the acceptance of your report of findings. The next step is let's schedule a checkup. I do my best work in my office. So I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:00 in my office. Now, if they're like, I can't make 9, can you do 11? Yep, I can. We'll figure it out. Like new problems.
Right.
And it's so important to meet them where they are and then keep taking that next step with them, and that next step and that next step. So I hope all of you are really listening in. Like, this is pure gold. And Dr. Heather has tons of experience. She has a rockin' practice. So take to heart what we're saying here. Remember, clarification, points of agreement, solution. I wish I could force this concept on every chiro and every student. And it's just like our chiropractic philosophy. Clarification, we check. Are you subluxated? Points of agreement, where? We adjust. That's the solution. And then we post check to make sure that what we set out to do, we accomplished, right? So clarification, points of agreement, solution. And the older and wiser we get, the more we hold the solution back to make sure that we position that solution exactly so they'll say yes. Versus when we're a rookie, it's let me just tell you everything I know, and I hope something sticks. I hope you can figure out how what I'm saying applies to your life. And that's not the way to build a strong practice. Remind your new practice member that this is not your first rodeo, that chiropractic has not changed since 1895. I keep seeing all these posts about, let's find the cure. I'm like, the cure is already here. It's within you. The cure, it's within. And the rules to it have never changed. The best way to beat a virus is to be well, to make it that virus cannot take root in this body. That's how you beat this virus. It cannot take root here. No way, no how. My body and my immune system are too strong. So remind your practice members of that. And your greatest source of believability are your testimonials. Tell your testimonials. So that's number 3, is you want to give hope. Give hope to your practice members. Let them know, I got you. Now, the give hope is through your testimonials. Like Heather said, don't tell that person, yeah, I absolutely can help you, until you know for sure. what if during your analysis you realize like, hey, this person, in addition to their chiropractic adjustments, needs something else? And all of us, you would have to be suspect if someone told you they could help you before they ever did an analysis, right?
Yes.
And guess what? They're suspect when you tell them, yeah, I can for sure help you. And I love the way that Heather said it. Like, I have helped thousands of individuals with headaches. I've never checked your spine and nerve system. I'd love to do that to find out if you'll be the next one who is a success story of never having to experience a headache again. Would you like to check out how that can happen for you? If I could show you a way to live without a headache, are you interested? If I could show you a way so that your kid stops peeing the bed, are you interested? If I could show you a way so when your spouse comes home, he's not sitting on the couch because he has no energy, are you interested? If I could show you a way, right? And then the hope is sharing their testimonials. We have hope when we see ourselves in another person's story. And to give you all hope, I'm going to read a couple. Like, these aren't my words. These are real practice members' words, boot campers. If you're ready to step up your game and be the best version of yourself, this boot camp and Dr. Barb's coaching style is for you. I can truly say that not only has the boot camp doubled my chiropractic business, but it's also helped me be it's also an exceptional tribe to support me and give me confidence in stepping out of my comfort zone. After a year of being taken advantage of by my previous employer, I went down on my own and practiced solo. For 2 years, I spun my wheels. I read every book and did every program imaginable. I made excuses and I felt desperately alone and almost quit. That's when I met Dr. Barb. I did kick myself for not finding a solution sooner. However, now that I'm in the boot camp, my mindset has changed and I'm growing. In the last year and a half, I felt less alone. I'm more confident and delivering a more valuable service than ever. This is truly the biggest blessing in my life and in my business. So why not you? If you're not in the boot camp, I'm telling you, you're missing out. The tribe has brought me to my new closest friends who are now my family. I couldn't get through this life without the tribe. It's such a blast. I love you so much, Dr. Barb. Andrea said, I've been avoiding my stats since March. This whole thing has really rocked my mojo. And while I knew I should be tracking stuff, I wasn't. So I just tallied up April's collections. I was 1.5 times more this year than last year during a freaking pandemic. Yeah, I guess I'll get back to work. So guess what? You have the ability to grow. There are 3 things that you must make sure that you are consciously doing. Like, remember I told you my story, like winging it isn't going to work. So every time you make a post, every time you send out an email, every time that you do a Loom or a bomb video, make sure that you are looking at these 3 things, right? So number 1, articulate their strong need. Are you speaking in a language that sounds like what they would say to themselves? Number 2, tell a relevant story that clearly spells out the solution. And number 3, make sure that you give hope. Those are the 3 things. And so you consciously want to go through and make sure that you hit those 3 things. And when you do, you're going to see that people will follow you. It's up to all of us to change this world. And I am convinced more than ever that chiropractic is really and truly the only solution. Dr. Heather, anything you'd like to say as we wrap this up?
I think hearing what you just said, right? You practice what you preach. So to get into the boot camp, I had to have an interview with you, right? Because to make sure that it was a good fit, that I was a good fit for the boot camp and that the boot camp was a good fit for me. So when I initially reached out to you, you didn't immediately say, yeah, come on in. I know the tribe's right for you and that you're right for the tribe, right? We had a meeting where you asked me some tough questions and did exactly what you just said we should do for our practice members. So, it is kind of one of those where you're wondering if it is a good fit. I'm going to tell you, Dr. Barb's not going to let you in. And if she doesn't think it's the best for you, is going to tell you this isn't the best, just like we would do with our practice members. If you have somebody in that you have to give them another solution, we don't do that often, but it is something that we have to occasionally do. So if you're wondering, maybe it's not a good fit, but the only way you would know that is to schedule talk to Dr. Barb and tell her your story, and the two of you decide together if it's a good fit. Let her see, if you have those solutions. So if you're on that fence, you're not committing at that point to the whole thing. You're committing to a one-time meeting. I'm assuming you're still doing that, right? Where you have a one-time meeting.
Yes.
Even in the 30 days that challenge that you mentioned, the reason I'm assuming you're doing that initial interview is to make sure, because maybe it's not a great fit for somebody. So you're not committing to, I was leery because I had been a part of another group before that I was really connected to, but that meeting let me say, okay, I'm not making a commitment without being able to talk those things through with you first, just like we would want our practice members to be able to do. So that's the way I think it should work. Your coaching and your leadership should work the way that you would expect us to do it in our practice. And I've totally seen that. So that's confirming to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, I truly believe that life it's really about it's about relationships. Heather and I are both Christians and have strong relationships with the Lord. And that's the most vital element of our lives. And from that relationship, the relationship we have with our spouses and the relationship we have with our children and relationships we have with our teams and our practice members. And all of this goes back to, something I love about our chiropractic philosophy about communication. And I just encourage all of you to remember that communication isn't just outbound. The best communication is inbound, right? And so it's really important to seek to understand others. My dad taught me from the time I was a young child that the person who talks the most in a conversation is the one who feels the best about it. So going back to that situation where you're sitting on the bleachers and you're talking to somebody, and then you start just like vomiting, diarrhea of the mouth. And then we walk away, and what do we say? Oh, they just don't get it. I guess they just don't care about their health. Right? We like instantly make them wrong. And so I encourage all of you, and something I've been doing through this COVID thing is kind of like Joe Polish was talking about. If I start focusing on what somebody else is doing wrong, I've missed the lesson, because there's a lesson in there for me to learn. And so I hope that this has provided all of you with a great way to bring more people in to the chiropractic lifestyle, to really give them answers, because our society and that which is led by big pharma is not moving towards health and well-being. So we have got to be bolder and stronger and repetitive with our simple message that health comes from within. So thank you all. Remember that next week, our topic is the low overhead practice. That post on Facebook got so much traction that I really want to help all of you find ways in which you can lower your overhead. Even if you're doing well financially, being smart financially is really, really important. And then the week after that is the 5 simple steps to feel organized and efficient. Because when our environment is organized, when our day is organized, our brain craves organization. Our brain craves order. That's just how we were created. And so I want to help all of you do that. Heather, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And to each one of you, thank you so much for being with me. I know there are lots of other things that you could have done in these last 41 minutes. And I appreciate the opportunity that you've given me to make your life better. So God bless you all. Have an awesome day. And the replay will be available soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.